Women must try to do things as men have tried, but when they fail, it must be a challenge to others. And this and the words of Amelia Earhart. It's on this note I say good morning to all strong women out there. The younger ones are not left out, and our daddies for being part of this program always. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, and I welcome you to another edition of Feminine Scope. The station is OGBC on 90.5 FM. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. You call me TS. This program is for women. It's for ladies who are on top of their careers. Women who have achieved in life, because we want the present generation to be motivated. And that's the main essence of this program. My guest today is Alhaja Lateefat Aina Akinsanmi, a retired secondary school principal. It's nice to have you in our studios, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Nice having you too.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So we always like to know our guests. We start from the very basics, the very humble beginnings. Who is Lateefat Aina Akinsanmi? What was growing up like for you?
Thank you very much. I am Lateefat Aina Akinsanmi. I was born in Jos, Plateau State, in the year 1951. My parents are from Abeokuta, Ijaye, Adeyinka's compound, but they went to the north in search of greener pasture, just as our youth do have today.
I do jackpine.
So when they got there, it was there they gave birth to me. And from there, when I reached the age of primary school, I was sent to Nuruddin Primary School, Jos.
Okay.
That was why I had my primary school. After my primary school, my father said, no, you cannot just stay here again and continue with your secondary school education. So he sent me back to Abeokuta.
Okay.
And there I had my secondary school education at Premier Grammar School, Lafenwa, Abeokuta, in the year 1968 to 1972.
Wow.
That was where I had my secondary school.
Okay.
As God will have it again, immediately after my secondary school, he said I should come down to Jos again. Then I went back to Jos. It was there that I got my being employed by Ministry of Epidemiological Unit in Jos. After some time, I now gained another employment into Kingsway Stores, Jos.
Kingsway then.
Yeah, Kingsway then, which of course is no more now. So that was how I grew up. From there, I was told that, okay, you have to further your education. But my auntie said, no, you are too old. You are getting old at 22.
What?
Like,
secondary school? You finished secondary school at 22?
At 22.
Why?
Initially, at the time that I finished the primary school in 1966,
Okay.
I ought to have started my secondary school in 1967. But then it was the Igbo War.
Oh.
So my father could not allow me stay there and continue my education. By then, I was even admitted into girls' secondary school organized by the Europeans then.
Wow.
After that, my father said, no, you can't stay here again. I said, okay, no problem. Then I had to come down and start with Premier Grammar School in 1968, meaning that I have already lost a year. That was exactly what happened. So when I finished the secondary school, I was told to come back to Jos. When I go back to Jos, my father said, no, you cannot just continue your education like that. You have to get married.
After secondary school?
After secondary school.
The Hausa life influenced that decision?
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
To some extent.
How old were you when you finished secondary school?
When I finished secondary school, I was 21.
Okay.
I was 21 then. So I came back. I agreed to what my parents said, because according to our religion, Islam, don't argue so much with your parents.
Okay.
What you cannot see
while you
are standing, they can see it while sitting down. So I accepted. But the promise was made by the person to marry me that this girl has to further her education. And he accepted. So we got married at Jos. From Jos, we went to Zaria. He worked with ABU, Zaria. From Zaria, we went to Maiduguri. It was in Maiduguri that I got my admission into the university.
Oh.
And I finished my university education as an educationist, BA Education, English and guidance and counseling.
Yeah, I was expecting you to mention English because you speak so well. I was going to ask that. Okay, you must have studied English because you speak so well. The diction is just perfect.
Okay.
Well done. That's a big one, good one for that matter.
So when I finished the university education, I finished my service at Federal Government College, Maiduguri. From there, after my service, I got employed into College of Education, Hong, then Gungola State. I was the first lecturer that started the library science department in that college. But between the family and children, there were things that could not work out well as expected.
Okay.
So my husband was at Maiduguri, I was at Hong. Every weekend is either I go back to Maiduguri or he comes down to Hong. When we couldn't bear the burden any longer, of course, I had to transfer my service to Borno State. There, instead of being a lecturer, I started as a classroom teacher in a secondary school. There I worked until my husband retired 30 years ago from University of Maiduguri.
Oh, your husband retired 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
Just that. So after retirement, we all came back to Abeokuta again. By then, my children were at some of the secondary school in Borno State. They were there. When we were coming, I came down with the one that was supposed to start SS1. He was given admission into Abeokuta Grammar School because that was where I was posted when I transferred my service to Ogun State. The other one was at Buniyadi. Buniyadi was part of Maiduguri and Borno State before, but later it became part of Yobe. So my child was at Federal Government College, Yobe, in Buniyadi. The particular town is Buniyadi, but the state now is Yobe. So when he finished his GSS 3-2, he came down and he was equally admitted at Abeokuta Grammar School. They both finished from there.
Ajia, anybody seeing you or hearing you would think that you're an Hausa woman. The way you speak, you are already speaking like an Hausa woman, but you are Yoruba.
Yes.
You grew up, most of everything
of
about you in the north. Wow. You got married to your husband and you said something that you had to just agree to what your parents. Where was the place of love that time?
Of course, then
You didn't know him before you got married to him?
only my parents and my uncles knew him.
Wow.
He was at Lagos initially. When he came to Jos, he was transferred from Lagos to Jos. When he came there, a brother of mine said, bro, go to Paris school, sir. An uncle of mine.
Okay.
Then my father's friend also, who is related to my husband, told him that, Tunji, that was the beginning of everything.
Everything fell in place and you liked the man.
Exactly.
When you saw him.
Initially, women cannot do without boasting. When I saw him,
Yeah.
So there was a day I was going to work too. I had to pass through his office because Amadu Bello Way was where he worked with the Jalupo merchants, and I was working at Kingsway. Then when I was going, he saw me coming back in the afternoon. Lagbaja, wow! I just ignored him with Tani. Who is he calling me? He became angry as well. And as God will have it, God said, both of you are going to get married. And after a year and a half, we got married.
Yes, to the glory of God. How about your siblings? How many are you from your parents?
From my own mom.
Oh, you are from a polygamous background.
Yes.
So tell me more.
From my own mom, we are just 2 left now. They had about 6.
Your mom had about 6.
We're just 2 now. Then my father's first wife, because my mother was the second wife. The first wife too had 2.
Okay.
So we're just 4.
Oh, left now.
Yes, left.
So from your own parents, 1-1.
1-1.
Then from the elder mom,
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So where are they now?
My own immediate brother, the one I can equally just say immediate, though not immediate.
Younger or older?
Younger.
Younger. Okay.
Because I had 3 in between us before him. There was the one that brought me this morning.
Oh,
He
okay.
stays in Abeokuta as well.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's interesting. So, growing up with your siblings,
Yeah.
especially in a polygamous setting
Yeah.
up there in Jos, what was it like?
Really, it was a kind of love affairs within the family, because you hardly know that it was not my mother that gave birth to the senior wife's children. It was when my father got married to my mother, that was when the senior wife had her own children. Yes.
Orí ọmọ ló ń pọ̀ ọmọ
Ọmọ
wáyé.
wáyé. So
That's
you
it.
hardly know the difference between us in terms of who is your mother or something. There was a day my brother went to, that is my step, do I call him step brother now,
Okay.
went to the school, and somebody was accusing me. Ìwọ tó mọ̀ yẹ́ ẹ̀, àbí ìwọ tó mọ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ àti yẹ́ ẹ̀ yìí. He took it lightly then. But another time again, somebody just told him in the school again and said, ìwọ tó mọ̀ yẹ́ ẹ̀ yìí. Then when my brother got home, he asked my father, bàbá mi, somebody abused me this way, that way. Then my father told him that, ṣé wo mọ̀ yẹ́ ẹ̀? My brother said, I don't know her, I don't know her. Okay, yeah, that's the senior wife. And the other one is your stepmother.
Stepmom.
But you hardly know, because she was the one that took care of all the children. Even our extended family, because my mother sells food.
Okay.
People from other family, among family members of course, other people from the family will equally come to my mom and eat free of charge. That doesn't disturb any gain that she will make. So that was the life we lived in the north.
My guest on this program today, Feminine Scope, is Alhaja Lateefat Aina Akinsanmi, a retired secondary school principal. And of course, she grew up in the north. I want you to compare life up north. Most of your growing up until maybe after marriage, and then you decided to settle down in Abeokuta. Compare life growing up in the north with life of children growing up here. You brought your children up here, and you grew up in the north. Can we have a comparison?
The comparison, of course, I can say it is comparable in the sense that there in the north, unlike in the south here, even currently what is happening now, you cannot just compare bringing up children in the north with children in the south, because in the north you might be living in the same compound. Let me cite an example of my own father's compound. We had tenants in the house, but you hardly know that they are tenants, because all of them took my mom as their own mother. So when my children were growing up, even while we were in Maiduguri, we normally come to Jos, where my parents are, with other children within our own compound. They do have cordial rapport and things like that. So you hardly know who is who among them. And that's bringing up of the children that we had. We cannot just compare it with one year. Here in the south, one is BN. Even if you are trying to do something or you're trying to help in a way, that is what Yoruba people will say. But there, if you do anything, not good in it.
Okay.
If you want to lead their children aright, fine, they are ready. And up till tomorrow, my own children are still communicating with their friends and Jos.
Wow.
That's it. But here, most especially nowadays, if you touch somebody's child, you are in trouble. Just take for instance, even in schools. Then when I came initially to Abeokuta Grammar School, a teacher can beat a student, but after some time on, principal ló gbọ́dọ̀ nà ọmọ níléèwé. How can you train such children? And anytime you beat a child, the parents will come and say, ó fẹ́ pa mí lọ́mọ. Those are the things that is happening here. But there, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá jà níléèwé o, if you fight in the school, iléèwé ló mọ̀. And you dare not come home
And tell
your
story.
nature economy. Oh, tó bẹ́ẹ̀. There's a lot.
Help us with what you are saying today. I want you to take a look at one very critical aspect of girl-child growing up. It's not just about education, but the growth of the girl child. And I'm looking at early child marriage. We tend to believe, it may not be true, but that's what most of us have, that children are forced into marriage up north. What's your experience? How do you see it? Can you just throw or shed light on this area so that we can clear our minds?
As regards that,
Teenagers marrying 60-year-old, 70-year-old?
not in all part of the north.
Okay.
But where I grew up was a mixture of Christian and Muslim. Therefore, the belief of the Muslims then was that when a child is maybe 14, 15, 16, a girl, of course, has to get married. But with that as well, then it might be so.
Is that not child abuse?
It might be so.
Okay.
But I have never experienced such while I was there. What I only know is that in spite of the fact that we say, they don't send their children to school, they only force them to go and marry. No. Because before I left Maiduguri, where we stayed last, of course, what I noticed was that if a girl is even married as at that maybe 18, then it was maybe 18, 20, that child will have to attend university. It is a must. And for those that don't even attend university, even if they are in their husband's house, we had where we call Women Teachers College. Even if you have married and have children, you will still have to go to the Women Teachers College. Even with your baby on your back, you have to attain that school certificate, something, before you even go to university. They accepted that then.
Nursing mothers.
But with there being a married woman, nursing mother, they still find their way to getting into the university. So at times if you see a woman, you might say, but already she's in the university and married as well. It never distracts anything within their own confine of knowledge.
I see. I won't allow you go until you must have advised this generation. What are we seeing? Why are the youths of today like this? You see youths killing youths. You see boys killing girls. You see girls killing boys. And it's just baffles one that what is the society turning into? You grew up in the north. Is it as rampant as we're having here? Where did we get it wrong?
Thank you very much. What we have in the south here is the issue of cultism that is so rampant. You hear this person is a cult, you are something, you are this, you are that. And he has offended me one time or the other, you just take your gun, shoot, and kill him anywhere. Cultism started the whole problem that we had, or we are having up till now in the Yoruba land. But the issue of cultism is not rampant. Even if you are a cultist, you will be afraid to show yourself up as a cultist. But here it is an open day affairs. They don't count it as anything. And as such, when cultism has influenced some of these boys, they now turn into yahoo, 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 yahoo. And parents are not even helping issues. Parents are not helping. When you tell a child of maybe 18, 20, look at your mate. He has bought a car for the mother. He has bought this for the father. He has built a house. What has he done that gave him that money? We will never find out. We'll just keep quiet over it. And to the extent that some parents, they even indulge these children into all, or they lure them into all this rubbish. In the sense that, is money everything? Money is not everything. Train your child so that even if you live by tomorrow, you'll be happy wherever you are that, but when you as the mother or the father is now telling the child, don't you see what Scholar is doing? Go and meet Scholar, let Scholar tell you what he's doing. At the end of the day, when a car is bought for the mother or the father or a house is built, and
they come on social media to flaunt it.
For a mother, a sensible mother, can such a sensible mother be telling the child to go and join all this rubbish? At the end of the day, they will not say, this Yahoo is not paying me, let it be Yahoo plus. What do they get? You go and look for somebody's child.
Ritual.
Look at an example that I got sometimes. When a child of 18 went and killed the father because of, what do you want to do? And I want to spend the money. I want to become rich. Should you kill your father because you want to? Why don't you just work, learn different skills, make use of what you can use in order to get you to where you want to get to? The parents of nowadays, most especially in the south, are not doing that. They are not encouraging these children to go and search for what could fetch them their own livelihood.
Concept of omoluabi is lost.
So it's a problem, really. And we pray that Almighty Allah and the Lord of the universe will help we parents.
Amen. Aja, do you party?
Party?
Yeah, party.
Yes, so
party after party.
Yes, so
you like party?
I do, because now that I retired from Ogun State Teaching Service Commission 12 years ago.
Wow.
So we principals, even if it is not every...
I know you principals like 5G. Oh, I see.
If it is not every Saturday, every other Saturday,
there was a party.
Yeah.
No dull moment, Ajia.
No dull moment.
So what type of music do you like?
Obe.
You like Obe?
Yes.
Wow.
Because Mama and Jogo.
Hey, you're a good dancer. Do you sing as well?
I do, yes.
You do?
Yes.
Can you sing Obe song? Any of his tracks?
Fi mí lọ́kàn balẹ̀ Olúwa, gbọ́rọ̀ mi rò, dákun má jẹ́ n ṣìṣe.
Fi mí lọ́kàn balẹ̀ Olúwa, gbọ́rọ̀ mi rò, dákun má jẹ́ n ṣìṣe. Májàṣímú, májàṣíjẹ, májàṣílẹ̀tẹ̀. Elédùmarè, bọ̀rọ̀ wá ro, dákun májàṣíjẹ. Fi mí lọ́kàn balẹ̀ Olúwa, bọ̀rọ̀ mi ro, dákun májàṣíjẹ. Ló ṣàgbé nígbó ló fi fìyẹ́ karó. Ṣóun ló ṣàlùkò ló fi fìyẹ́ kó sùn. Òun ló ṣojú dẹrẹ́ ló fi fìyẹ́ pépó. Gbọ́rọ̀ mi rò dákun má jẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Ló ṣàgbé nígbó ló fi fìyẹ́ karó. Ṣóun ló ṣàlùkò ló fi fìyẹ́ kó sùn. Òun ló ṣojú dẹrẹ́ ló fi fìyẹ́ pépó. Gbọ́rọ̀ mi rò dákun má jẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́.
Thank you for coming.
It's
How
my
is Daddy?
pleasure. He is fine. He's
Okay,
fine.
and the children too.
They're all fine.
You are grandma already. I don't need to
Yeah.
ask you that.
Grandma, yes.
Or great grandma.
No, grandma.
Grandma already. Wow, that's interesting. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So that's it on today's edition of Feminine Scope on OGBC 90.5 FM. Again, I thank my guest, Alhaja Lateefat Aina Akinsanmi, a retired secondary school principal. I also thank my producer, Temilade Tijani, assisted by Funmilayo Akintoye. My studio manager is Samuel Adeneye. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. Till next week, when we come your way again, do enjoy your weekend. Good morning.